Hey Gemini, this one's for you. This is Tarot Lumination with a little bit of astrobabble. It's all about the Leo new moon eclipse and the Leo North Node, end of August the 21st, 2017. And it's kind of an update video. Reason being is because Geminis, all the signs, we already did a big playlist weeks and weeks ago for the whole Leo North Node thing, about this epic journey of evolution for all of us. It's quite a significant one because it's very tightly aligned with the eclipses. So it's very, very strong. It's very significant. So a lot of people have been witnessing it on this side of the screen here at Tarot Illumination, where it's quite disorienting for a lot of people. And of course, there's also all the other planetary aspects as well that are going on, but we're focusing very closely here on the eclipse itself and the Leo North Node journey itself. So all I'm asking for you, Gemini, is watch for your sun, moon, and rising like you do anyway. Please also watch the Leo North Node playlist from earlier. It's in the Tarot Illumination library, playlist library somewhere, okay? So just dig it out, okay? Now, I did a little chart here. I've done the same thing for everybody else too. And all we're doing here, okay, this is you, Gemini, okay? Leo North Node, Leo New Moon Eclipse energy, August 21st, 2017. So I've stripped out all the stuff that's nothing to do with it. I'm just focusing purely on the North Node energy right now, where we are moving away. We're moving away from the South Node energy over here. Let's just put it in. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Okay. Leaving behind this type of South Node energy over here and moving into the Leo North Node evolutionary steps over here. So for you, Gemini, this is you, okay? Gemini right here on the horizon. Sun, moon, or rising. This would apply to you. What's happening is that we're going to have the Sun, Moon, Mars, and the North Node all at once, right at the end of August here, the 21st, right there, okay? Pounding on you in the third house, okay? That's your kind of turf. That's kind of your territory anyway, Gemini. So it's maybe, this could be actually be kind of fun for you almost. Who knows? Third house, typical buzzwords, common buzzwords are things like friends, friendship, family, family members, you know, siblings and brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews, aunts and uncles, that kind of stuff. And above and beyond all else, it's about communications and information, the exchange of information, speaking and listening, anything to do with literally good old-fashioned communication, phones, text, emails, internet communications. It's also about the processes of thinking and attitude and teaching and learning in day-to-day stuff, what we have to do in day-to-day life in order to survive and get on, which is of course very integral to pretty much everything that we do. Life, business, just day-to-day involves huge amounts of communication back and forth, hopefully clear and open and true and honest, okay? So the Leo North Node journey is being very strongly supported for you, Gemini, with this big fat fire trine. It's very harmonious for you because air signs tend to mix very comfortably with fire energy. So there's a lot of support for you to evolve here, move away from here. So you would be leaving behind a lot of redundant, self-defeating, obsolete behaviors, attitudes, perceptions, situations, wisdom, knowledge, everything to do with your Aquarius South Node energy up here in your 9th house, okay? Let's just put it on there, 9th, okay? 9th house. And bring all of that, bring all the good stuff with you. Leave the junk, the rubbish, the rubble, the weeds, the vines, all the attachments, the expectations, the, you know, just the old stuff that you've done over and over again. Leave it all behind. And we're leaving it all behind. You're moving it all up here, bringing the good stuff with you. All the wisdom and the knowledge that you've retained, not attained, but retained, like that allows you to bring great value to this area here in the North Node area. So you're going to be finding new, brilliant, brighter, more exciting, fun, expressive ways of speaking, of listening, thinking, communicating with yourself primarily, and with just like your day-to-day world around you. So it's kind of a big shift, and people might notice that as like, oh, what's happening with you, Gemini? What's going on with you? You're a whole new person. And Gemini says, oh yeah, that's right, man. So let's have a look here. Because it might be so theoretically easy for you to evolve this way compared to some of the other signs, you might be taking that for granted, which actually is probably not a good idea. I mean, you're facing probably as many challenges as anyone else. It just might not feel that way, which could actually be detrimental to you. In other words, like, you could be thinking that you're breezing through all this, where in fact, you might be stumbling through without even knowing it. So let's just put this here. We're gonna give you a little mini 3-card reading, okay, regarding Aquarius South Node energy, from which you are outgrowing, and the Leo North Node energy into which you are evolving, and hopefully maybe some way, how or other, that you're going to get through this. It's a journey. It's not flipping from here to here, ding, ding. It's not that at all. It is a progression over the next year or so, even more, okay? And a lot of this redundant energy here could have been piling up for many years, okay? So even though it's a tiny, tiny spread, we might actually touch on something quite significant for you. Let's have a look. Cards were already well shuffled in advance, and we're just going to do a last couple of spins here so that you are a witness, so you get a clean deck. Okay, it's only fair. No jumpers, no flyers, no reversals, no oracles, none of that. We're just going to go down and dirty, straight into it, okay? 3 little cards and a little bit of background weather. Hope you don't mind. All right, we're going to do the best we can for you. All right, Gemini, hang in. Okay, there's your shuffle done. Now we're going to cut, and we're going to cut. So there you go. Let's see how this looks. All right, Gemini, are you ready? Here we go. Let's see about the lights here. Good, good. South Node, Aquarius energy. North Node, Leo energy. How are we going to do this? What's a good way? And then we're going to look at the bottom card in just a moment. It's what I think of as the weather. It's kind of around this whole thing. You're going to make the best of it, okay? If it's shitty weather, you're going to deal with it. If it's really awesome weather, you're going to take full advantage of it, okay? So what have you got? The Queen of Swords. Guess what, Gemini? This showed up earlier for one of the other signs. It's a time for you, Gemini, to draw a line in the sand, okay? You might have been breezing along, totally convinced that everything's okay. But deep down, you know we have to do this evolution. There's no way out of it. And one of the most important steps to do is understand, like, this is a very, very strong indication. The weather conditions around you are telling you in a very unequivocal manner, Gemini, it's time to stop with any kind of bullshit, any kind of self-defeating communications, behaviors, attitudes, perceptions, understandings, whatever you think you know that's already cool and awesome. It's asking you to realize that you may not know it all, Gemini, and that if there's anything that smells like bullshit, it needs to go. Now, if someone else is coming at you in your life, in your world, in this journey, and they're calling you out in case you are radiating bullshit, then the most honorable thing to do is accept that. If you are smelling bullshit around you, then it's important to acknowledge that and admit that and no longer put up with it. In other words, this is a strong indication that it's time for you, Gemini, to refuse to put up with any bullshit from around you, especially in this area of higher consciousness and wisdom and knowledge and awareness, and being very, very close to talking to the great beyond. And nothing bogus is allowed here. None of that, okay? Nothing fake, nothing phony. It's time for cold, hard truth to come into your life and accept nothing else but cold, hard truth, no matter what, okay, Gemini? And that's from yourself radiating outwards and accepting energy towards you as well. In other words, you can't go around spouting any kind of bullshit and then expect others to be totally true and honest with you. It starts with you first. You need to be making sure that you are speaking the truth and listening to the truth. And if anything sounds phony or fake, it is, okay? And it's very, very important that you speak and speak your truth and honor your words. It's really, really important now because Gemini, you are a sign of words and communication, okay? Thoughts, words, communication, speaking, listening, all of that is very, very important for you. It's all going to happen here in your third house, okay? So there's kind of no way out of it. And because the lights are going to be shining there, it's like if there is any bullshit going on and it's coming out of you, you're going to be called out. It's going to become very evident. And with all these lights going on there, here, Sun, Moon, Mars, and the North Node, all of that, if you're smelling bullshit from anywhere, it's going to be very evident, and you need to call it out, okay? Let's have a look. Okay, so in that context, if in the process of starting off on this, it might leave you feeling like, oh, wait a minute. If I actually do start calling out all this bullshit, it's almost like I'm going to feel like I'm left out because you might have been tolerating an awful lot of bogus stuff in your life, Gemini, that's not really healthy, just for the sake of convenience, just for the sake of getting along. Happy friends, happy families, happy communications. And that's not healthy, okay? Because you might have made poor decisions in the past about with whom you are relating, where you are placing your values, what you believe and understand is true, okay? And so if in the process of due diligence, you start doing what has to be done, cutting out all the bullshit, no more bullshit from you, no more bullshit accepted from others, it could make you feel deprived because it's just almost like you've been putting up with so much for so long and tolerating it, even though it's not healthy or appropriate. And so when you start cutting it out, it might feel like, well, wait a minute, I'm cutting out and giving away everything that I love. And people are cutting me out. That makes me feel impoverished, emotionally impoverished, physically impoverished in all sorts of ways, okay? So that could hurt. That could feel really, really uncomfortable for you, okay, Gemini? So even with all this support, because it's almost like the energy of trines is so comfortable, you could have been breezing along so comfortably and so easily, not realizing that you might have been in such a situation. But we're going to deal with it. Don't worry. Moving forward, okay, it might be okay. It might be appropriate to admit a degree of innocence here. In other words, you might not have been using or coming from an energy of love, so to speak. You might have just been treating everything as an intellectual process or a game of checkers and chess, and that's enough to get along through life. But there was perhaps no heart, no love energy, and it's now time to move forward and admit and be honest that maybe we need to infuse a little bit more love into all of this so that the communications come from the heart. That's very much heart Leo energy. It's full of love. It's full of it's love, love, love type energy. And as much as you might think you've been radiating that, it might have not actually been true. Okay? And so evolving here, moving forward into this North Node energy, is an indication of accepting, okay, maybe I was deluding myself or letting other people delude me or allowing myself to be deluded, whatever it is, but that's no longer appropriate. And it's okay to admit that after cutting away all the bullshit and accepting that actually I feel kind of left out now and a bit deprived, it might be leaving you in an awareness that you're actually quite innocent in matters of the heart in terms of heart energy, which would show up here, okay? So with this North Node energy, significated by this little Page of Cups here, it's an indication that It's okay to be innocent. It's okay to admit like there's been a bit of naivety, a bit of innocence, a bit of unawareness about this love energy, the heart energy, the big pulsing heart, radiant, vibrant Leo energy. And but now this is the time to incorporate that. There's nothing wrong with being innocent, okay? We're all innocent to some degree, and now is the time to admit it. And no more lying to yourself, no more lying to others, no more allowing others to lie to you or to themselves. It's toxic. It's not healthy, okay? You might have just been putting up with a lot of like mediocre situations, circumstances, people in relationships in order to get along. That's not healthy. It's time to upgrade, admit there might be a high degree of innocence, and that's okay. But then it allows you to incorporate and ingest all the new stuff coming at you, which is going to be much, much better than where you were. Okay. So the question then is like, sort of how? Okay. Well, understand the true value that you have. Gosh, I'm sorry. I've been going on for so long with this reading. I don't know why. I'm trying to get to the point here. Live as if. Live as if you know what you're actually doing. It's the Nine of Pentacles. Act as though you are completely understanding of what's going on here. You've got your act together, and admit deep inside there's a little bit of innocence, but that's okay. You're going to move on. You're going to claim your right to be like the newer, better version of yourself, where you're going to bring all this wonderful wealth and abundance and value into your new version of Gemini Mark II. Okay. And it might be you have to have a little bit of swagger to do that. It might mean like, I mean, you see these two energies here in the process of cutting out all the bullshit. Yeah. It might mean that, you know, oops, I actually liked hanging out with all that stuff. And then, oh my God, I'm realizing how innocent and naive I was. But you're also going to realize how much resource and talent you do have to offer once you've cut away all the crap. Okay. And then you're going to start radiating that energy of awesomeness and independence, and people are going to start to dig it. They're going to think like, whoa, maybe Gemini does know what they're doing. Wow. Awesome, Gemini. Bring it on. We value you because we sense that you value you, and you're being much more honest now. Okay. Awesome. All right. Thanks, Gemini. Read for your sun, moon, and rising. Watch the Leo North Node playlist. Okay. Make the best of it. Awesome. Thanks for visiting. Bye-bye.